Hey you guys, I just wanted to throw up a video that compared and contrasted the Paleolithic era of the Stone Age and the Neolithic era of the Stone Age. Just to make it a little clearer and just to show you how important what the human advances during the Neolithic era were to mankind, okay? So, one thing you need to remember is that what we're talking about here is the Stone Age. It is the Stone Age. Both eras are in the Stone Age, just one is a little older than the other. Actually, they break up the Stone Age into three eras, but we only talk about two, the Paleolithic and the Neolithic. The Paleolithic age is much older. If you were to take a timeline and find 2017 and go almost as far away as from 2017 as you can, you'd end up in the Paleolithic era. This is the oldest part of the Stone Age, right? The Neolithic era, however, is not quite so old. It's still really old. It's still part of the Stone Age. It's just like right next door to the Paleolithic era. But what happened in those two eras, the distinctive differences of things that went on during those two eras is huge. If that's not helping you, let me give you some dates. Now, I don't require dates. You don't have to memorize these, but if these help you see what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you, okay? The Paleolithic era lasted from about 2.6 million years ago, and that's what this means, million years ago, to about 11,700 years ago, okay? And for a lot of that time, no humans, okay, no humans. Humans didn't show up onto the scene for till about 200,000 years ago. So a lot of what was going on Earth during that time, everything that was going on Earth before humans showed up, had nothing to do with humans, okay? It was the Earth living and growing and other species besides hominids evolving and that kind of thing. The Neolithic era lasted from about 9,000 BCE to about 6,000 BCE. And it was full of humans. It was full of hominids. It was full of Homo sapiens sapiens doing their thing, learning how to survive on this planet. Now remember, this is the Stone Age we're talking about. So when we say an age, like the Stone Age or the Bronze Age or the Iron Age, we're talking about the part of technology that advances humankind the most. So the Stone Age, the part of technology that advanced humankind the most was I hear you saying it's stone, so it won't come as a huge shock to you that the Paleolithic humans used stone tools. Whereas during the Neolithic time of the Stone Age, it may or may not shock you to find out that the Neolithic humans just had better stone tools. They were just better. They were a little easier to use, maybe a little lighter, maybe a little sharper, maybe had a handle, maybe somebody painted them. I don't know, but they were better. They were more user-friendly. Technology was advancing, but the main element of that technology during the Stone Age, whether it be the Paleolithic era or the Neolithic era, stone. Now, the people of the Paleolithic era were nomads, as my sign says. That meant that they chased after their food. They hunted for their food. They looked for wild things growing like berries or vegetables, and they had to move from place to place. Every time a food source ended, a herd of woolly mammoths finally ran away and you had to catch up with them, or you ate all the berries and the wild vegetables in your area and you had to move to find more sources of it, you had to move. Nomads chase their food, okay? They have to. They have to move from place to place. Nomads move from place to place, okay? Neolithic times, humans, we began to see permanent settlements. There's reasons for this, and we're going to talk about that right now. During the Paleolithic era, there was no agriculture. People weren't growing things, they were looking for things. They were nomads and they were hunter-gatherers, right? They were hunter-gatherers. They hunted for their protein source, their woolly mammoth or whatever, and they gathered their other things, their vegetables, their fruits, their herbs, the things they use for medicine, twigs, sticks, fish, anything that they could gather up and keep in a bundle or a bunch or a basket of some sort. That's the gathering. And then the men, who are usually the hunters, and the women, who are usually the gatherers, they would come together as one food supply chain, okay? The Neolithic times There was agriculture. They learned, humans did, how to grow food. Not only did they learn how to grow food, they learned how to domesticate their animals. So let's take a look at this. If you don't have to chase after an angry woolly mammoth with your wooden spear, with your stone tip, who doesn't want to be hunted, and I can't imagine would be super easy to kill with a wooden spear, with a stone tip, you don't have to do that. It's much safer. You have your domesticated animals, early versions of cows maybe, or llamas or camels or some such like that, in the stable outside your permanent hut. You also know how to grow food now. You know how to use the seeds. You know when they need to be watered. You know when they need to be harvested. And if you want some, you just go walk outside your hut and you get it. You don't have to chase wild berries throughout the forest looking for them all year long. You can stay in one place. If you can stay in one place, that means your buddies and maybe your brothers and sisters and their families can stay in one place with you, and that's where we create a community. And once we create a community, we begin to create civilization. We begin to create culture. We also begin to create some scarier stuff like armies and war and disease. We'll get to that later. The Neolithic Revolution brought about agriculture and domestication of animals from simple nomadic hunter and gatherer times, and that made all the difference. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you later. We'll add to this some more. Hope this helped. Bye.